Comms 5. This class was different and exciting. At the beginning of the course, when you said that this class was going to become a family, I highly doubted that just because a lot of my college courses so far have just been get in, get out, don't even bother communicating to anybody else, don't even bother talking to the teacher, just do your own work and leave. That's it. This class was different, however. You had to incorporate with other classmates, such as getting ready for the group projects or even getting ready to work with others just to help you on your individual speeches. Even we had some activities, the lawyer and like the doctor, and when you're stranded on the island activity, that was pretty exciting. It was different. It's a new way to learn the way that you taught us this material. Throughout the course, we also had a lot of tests and quizzes that we had to do weekly, and the tests were after like every 5 chapters, I believe. And it's difficult if you didn't keep up with it, and if you weren't responsible, you could get left behind and miss the work. And that's the last thing you want to do in this class that doesn't have that many points. Along with those tests and quizzes, we had 3 speeches: the informative, the persuasive, and the group speech that we had throughout the course. And each speech kind of left me with something that I'm always going to remember, as long as with some lessons that I'm always going to have to carry over throughout my rest of my college career and life, probably because the material that we had, like what we had to learn to do the speeches alone. Also, the first speech was the informative, and that was extremely difficult. I thought that was really hard. It was my first like formal kind of speech that I had to do, and even citing the sources, putting the sources into the speech, making the time requirement, it was really hard. Even getting past that stage fright of doing your first speech in front of like a new class kind of was kind of hard. It was something new that I never experienced before, and it was fine because at first it just seemed like everybody was a little bit nervous. Also, when everybody else was presenting, you could kind of tell that they were kind of shaky or like their voice would change, and then throughout the rest of the semester, you'd see them become more comfortable. Like it would validate your point of making them like they were actually nervous in the first speech. Uh, One thing that I'll never forget from this speech was the dolphin rape speech. The kid that presented it, he gave a nice little thorough speech about how dolphins rape a lot of people, and it was different. I would have never expected that kind of speech to come out of him, let alone in a college course like that. Um, the second speech was the persuasive speech, and it was still difficult, but it was a little bit easier because we kind of knew the process that we had to take on going on at it. Uh, Doing my speech was kind of easy, but just getting the information was a little bit hard. It's a persuasive, so you have to make it a persuasive kind of style. So just finding the sources and how to word the speech so it actually comes off as a persuasive was kind of difficult at first, but you kind of get like how you're supposed to do it. I remember meeting with my group just to bounce back ideas back and forth. We met for hours, and that really helped. Even having group members, you could always rely on to call and text and just ask them like for ideas or anything else was really helpful because they were always there for you, and they were probably in the same your same shoes trying to go through the same process that you were. Um, One speech that will always stand out to me in this one was the Kanye West speech because the kid was livid about how much he hate Kanye West because he was such an asshole, and it was hilarious because in the beginning he pointed to the teacher and it said like, "Oh, is she the ass? Is she the asshole?" And then you gave that little look on your face like, "What the heck is he talking about? You better not be talking about me. I'm grading your paper." It was hilarious just witnessing that. The third and final speech that we had to do in class was the group speech, and this was the easier of the two. And yeah, we procrastinated a lot. We met the week before because we wanted to just see how the other groups presented their speech and kind of steal some of their ideas and how they engaged the audience. And we kind of took your ideas also of like what the content was and also how to engage the audience also. Uh, I was nervous at first when I was presenting that speech, but it turned out to be extremely easy because you had 4 other members up there with you, so there's no reason to be nervous about that. Um, One thing that I'll always remember about this speech is that it's kind of cool teaching the class. It was different because the class was teaching you, and you're trying to teach a class in different sections also. So doing the skits and then along with just getting everybody involved was a lot different than all the other methods of learning that I've learned in college, even in high school. This was something new, and I really enjoyed it. Um, Going through all these speeches, the informative, the persuasive, and the group speech, it's the process and what went along with it that I'll always remember with it. Hopefully, I carry out the process of how to terminate relationships or whatever came along with what we had to learn throughout the rest of my life, because these are all important communication tasks that I need. Um, all the friends that I made in this class, along with the learning process that I hope to carry over. Thank you for everything, Miss Ed. Really appreciate everything. Thanks for this diploma, by the way.